Cody, before we wrap up, we always like to do final thoughts here on the show. I thought it'd be fun, real quick, to run through our Locked On NFL top 10 quarterback list. This hasn't been published yet, but we'll be able to talk about it a little bit, give folks a bit of a sneak peek. So let's run through this list. You want to go from 10 to 1 real quick?
Yeah, we should do that. 10 to 1, I think, will generate some interesting conversation here in the comment section. So,
absolutely. Yes. So feel free as you're watching along. We're going to be wrapping up here with today's show with our Locked On NFL, as voted on by the Locked On NFL local experts, top 10 quarterback list. Feel free to chime in as we move along here. So let's start with 10 through 6. 10 being Ryan Tannehill, getting 2.4% of the vote. So we see a big discrepancy between number 1 and number 10, and then we have a bunch of kind of like received 1 votes, things like that. But Ryan Tannehill at number 10. We've got Matthew Stafford at number 9, Dak Prescott at 8, Lamar Jackson at 7, and Deshaun Watson at 6. Anybody stand out for you at the bottom of that list?
I mean, I would say a little interesting that Stafford's there at 9. Just a little interesting, when you talk about he and Kirk Cousins. I mean, even though I crap on Kirk Cousins a lot, that's an interesting one. And we'll see. I mean, obviously with the change in offensive scheme, he's going to be hanging out with his buddy McVay, but I don't know. That's interesting. Yeah, that was probably the interesting one that stood out to me.
Yeah, I think it's the other one that's really interesting to me too is Ryan Tannehill. I mean, we talk a little bit about Ryan Tannehill pretty often here on the show, and of course now he has this brand new weapon in Julio Jones. I kind of wonder how much of the voting might have been affected with the potential. This was before the trade happened, but how many people maybe projected forward that, hey, the Titans are really in on this, as most of us knew. If he gets Julio Jones and all of a sudden he raises up, or if, people really look at it this way. I know our good friend Joe Marino over at Locked On Bills, as well as Draft Dudes, is, very much on the Ryan Tannehill benefits from play action group, which I kind of am too, which I think is hard to deny when it comes to Tannehill, but he's still a talented quarterback because you have to be able to take advantage of that either way. But there's an interesting name that's missing from this list. So let's roll along here through 5 through 1, or is there another one that stands out from 6 through 10 for you?
Well, obviously taking a look at the Deshaun Watson situation, his football he played last year was impeccable from that positional standpoint, but obviously there's going to be a little bit of a placehold on maybe his thoughts or projections in 2021. I don't think he's going to play. I think he'll be on the commissioner's exemption list, but obviously that whole situation has to sort out. But I really think 5 through 1 is actually, I think, pretty accurate at this point in time.
I think I agree with that. And real quick, just to mention, if Deshaun Watson doesn't play in 2021 or removed him from this list, it would move Matt Ryan in at number 10, basically. It wouldn't move him in any higher than that, but it would get Matt Ryan into the top 10. Yeah. He's the one that I think is really interesting that's missing from this list. I don't think it's a spoiler to say that he's not in the top 5, because I don't think anybody would expect that outside of maybe Falcons.
Top 10, though, absolutely. I think that's strong consideration for sure.
Absolutely. All right, let's hit 5 through 1 here as we wrap up. We've got number 5, Josh Allen out of Buffalo. Number 4, Tom Brady. And then 3 through 1 being Russell Wilson at 3, Aaron Rodgers at 2, Patrick Mahomes at 1. I don't have much beef at all with the top 5 here.
Not at all. I think that's a pretty accurate one. Obviously, there's going to be some Tom Brady fans who will be like, no, Brady's number 1. Look, what Brady did last year was very impressive, going to a new team first year, taking them, to a Super Bowl and winning it. Absolutely nothing there. Josh Allen's rise was really incredible. I think that, if he can maintain that, he'll probably stay in that top 5 category. Russell Wilson was playing some damn good football last year, so I can't discount where he's at. 3, Aaron Rodgers, obviously MVP season. I think between he and Patrick Mahomes, it could be a coin flip between those two. They're probably the top 2 best quarterbacks in the NFL, and maybe both of them will be in the AFC West.
Yeah, right. We'll see how it all goes, right? Maybe they end up being like the Drew Brees, Tom Brady of the NFC South last year, with both of them being in the same division. Then you get Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes in the same division next year. We'll see how it all pans out. Shout out to Patrick Mahomes for joining the Madden cover with Tom Brady this year, the GOAT and the baby GOAT. That was pretty cool to see. But yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I don't have really any beef at all with the top 5 here. I love seeing Josh Allen in the top 5. I think he absolutely deserves it. He had a big time ascension last year. I'm really interested to see if he can, take another step forward in 2021, what he's able to do there. And if he does that, I mean, that would put him in MVP conversation if he takes another step up from where he was last year, just based upon how successful his last season was. But now you look at some of the weapons that he has around him. He has a full year now of experience with Stephon Diggs and an actual offseason to install an offense together. I think Josh Allen has the potential to maybe take another step forward, and I'd be very excited to see that.
Yeah, I mean, Buffalo, they brought everybody back. Everybody was willing to take
Right.
discounts to come back. So look, I think for them, do I see anybody? I mean, do I see Miami competing for them for the division? I don't know. I think a lot of that rests on how Tua plays. But Josh Allen, obviously firmly in command last year. A disappointing end of the season for them for sure. But they have so much damn talent, and his arm talent alone and his ability to run. I mean, he is a dynamic weapon. And for him, as he gets more comfortable, I mean, obviously we saw him take that massive jump last year. Right. He's going to be even more comfortable this year. He has the opportunity to do even more. So I think that's obviously a great place to kind of be if you're Josh Allen, especially he can rise up this chart really quickly too. So
yeah. Absolutely. Some of the other quarterbacks that got votes, Justin Herbert, the offensive rookie of the year last year, Kyler Murray, who is, of course, the Cardinals, guys that we were just talking with. Matt Ryan, as we mentioned, was just outside of the top 10 if Deshaun Watson isn't on this list or if Aaron Rodgers isn't on this list. Both, if one or the other ends up not playing in 2021 for whatever reason, then Matt Ryan would move up into that. Ben Roethlisberger got some votes. Ryan Fitzpatrick got some votes. And interestingly, we did see Kirk Cousins and Carson Wentz both getting votes as well, but both of them pretty far toward the bottom there. So not really a lot of consideration.
How the hell is Ryan Fitzpatrick above Kirk Cousins?
He ended up getting more votes in like the 8-9 range, whereas Kirk Cousins got more votes in the 9-10 range, if that makes sense.
What?
Ryan Fitzpatrick got mentioned earlier in the voting, so that was one of the reasons why he ends up, that carried more weight.
Yeah, I was going to say, even like a surprise in my opinion, Baker Mayfield, I'm surprised he's not maybe in consideration for the top 10. I think what he did last season, he's got top 10 quarterback traits, and he played like a top 10 quarterback last season. So can he build on that? I know this is another big year, but I think having consistency at OC, I think with Stefanski coming back is going to be great. He did a really great job of transforming that offense and also helping Baker Mayfield elevate. So I don't know. Keep an eye on Baker Mayfield once we do this list maybe in 2022.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield's highest vote was 8th place.
Ooh,
that was his highest vote. He didn't get any 1 through 7 votes. So
interesting for sure. I mean, and all this voting too, ladies and gentlemen, like Ross mentioned, was conducted by the Locked On NFL staff. All of us collectively around the 32 teams that we cover, plus the additional other podcasts like the Peacock and Williamson Show. You can get on your favorite podcasting platform as well. So. Yeah, interesting. Quarterback's always going to be an interesting conversation in the debates, but we're eager for fans' thoughts as well. If you're in the comment section, this is going to go up on YouTube as well. Let us know, and make sure you hit the subscribe button on the Locked On NFL YouTube page, where you're going to get daily video content as well, alongside here Locked On NFL Sunday.
Absolutely. So, y'all, that's going to wrap it up for today. We'll have top 10 running backs will be our next big vote here across. So if you have any thoughts on top 10 running backs as well as top 10 quarterbacks, leave them in the comment section below on YouTube.